today with a big camera and then a live video with the phone on some junk wax stuff just for fun. Welcome, everybody. My name is Rich, and that is going to be Hope. Gold Cup Hope. We don't have any gold cups here. We do have gold cards, though.
These cards?
Yeah, what? I mean, we're just, once again, this is stuff that came in a binder with sleeves. So for $10, getting a binder with sleeves is a pretty good value. The fact that they threw cards in there were cards in there for that $10 is just kind of an added bonus. But let's face it, this is 1992.
These are checklists with Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start with Hall of Famers. This is 1992 Studio. Now, what they did this in 91 and they did it in 92. Leaf. There you see the information there. Basically, it's portrait photos of the players at the time, along with like a black and white action photo. There's the photographer names. They did this in 91. They did this in 92. And their checklist involved Hall of Famers, which you can see, Billy Williams, Red Schoendienst, and Rod Carew. And then from there, we have a bunch of the base cards. Yeah, that were in the binders. You can move those off of there. And then we're going to start with the Hall of Famers. And I know cards don't have any value unless the guy ends up being a Hall of Famer or if the cards are rare. But it's just funny that, like, in this 19... Oh, yeah, we got distracted. They got the Rockies and the Rays over there.
Said Freeland had 9 strikes.
Oh, did he?
That's good for how terrible he is.
Yeah. A lot of sets you don't have... The cards don't have any value unless the guy ends up being a Hall of Famer. But these are 1992 cards. They're not worth anything, but amazingly, there's like 24 to 25 Hall of Famers in this set. We're going to start with Ivan Rodriguez, and I love the back of these where it's loves to face Mike Magnantes, 4 for 4, hates to face Mike Moore, 0 for 10. So 25, I think, Hall of Famers in this set. That's one of them. Keep it coming.
Here, we just talked about him.
Gary Carter, a Hall of Famer. The Hall of Famer that's missing is Greg Maddux. So whoever pawned these cards off on the local card shop must have kept the Maddux card. Eddie Murray, Hall of Famer. And we just keep it rolling with Hall of Famers. This is Fred McGriff. The Crime Dog, Jeff Bagwell, and you see the portrait photo, like they got their pictures taken at Penny's or Sears, and then the little black and white action photo. Paul Molitor, there's Molly, Roberto Alomar, Craig Biggio, Edgar Martinez, Hall of Famers aplenty, Alan Trammell, Barry Larkin from Cincinnati, and played for the Reds. Tim Rock Rain stole a lot of bases. Robin Yount, the Brewers.
It says on the back here.
Oh, yeah.
Hates to face Bob Welch.
Yep. And then he just absolutely destroyed Mike Flanagan. There's a couple good ones on here.
Yeah.
Andre Dawson, the Hawk, is a Hall of Famer. Larry Walker, Expos. Harold Baines. Now, this is kind of funny. Harold Baines, he hates to face Mark Langston. And he crushed Edwin Nunez. Mark Langston is in this set. So that's kind of funny to see the picture cards to see who they liked and hated to face. We're going to get to those. Dave Winfield, it says DH, but he was mostly an outfielder. And there's Tom Glavine, a pitcher. So now what was his story? He loves to face Paul O'Neill, 1 for 20. Lloyd McClendon, for some reason, had a lot of success against him. So I thought that was always kind of a fun part. They'll put hobbies on there. They'll mention their favorite actress or favorite movie. John Smoltz, Hall of Famer. You'll sometimes hear him on TV. Mm-hmm. Mike Musina.
Here, you're going to love this. Hates to face Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas, 8 for 11 with 2 homers.
There's Frank Thomas on the ball right there.
There we go. There's the big hurt. All right. Another Hall of Famer, Jack Morris. People know him from the Tigers. Lee Smith, played all over the place. Oh, Dennis Eckersley. Now I'm curious what the Eck liked and didn't like. Pretty good against Mickey Tettleton. Kent Herbeck was pretty good. Yeah, and then you see they put, their who they'd like to meet and all that other stuff. It's like a high school bio in the yearbook. And Randy Johnson with the broken bats. That is fantastic. I mean, he broke a lot of bats. Rafael Palmeiro was 1 for 17. Ruben Sierra, he could not get out. Yeah, his hobbies include photography and playing drums. Loves Clint Eastwood and John Wayne. Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Magnum Force, and he wants to meet President George Bush. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. So we'll just put that over there. Now, not Hall of Famers, but they did have Hall of Fame numbers. Sammy Sosa, Rafael Palmeiro.
Here, you want to know who he didn't like facing? This guy.
I think that makes complete sense. Yep. That might be Palmero's. One of those might be Palmero's bat. Mark McGuire, another guy.
Here, he did not like facing Clemens.
No, he did not. Mark Williamson. He was a reliever, I thought. Dale Murphy.
And then if you look here, he hates to face Greg Maddux.
Yep, and he's the card that's actually missing. He's a Hall of Famer that's missing from the set. Jose Canseco. We'll give Jose a look. And then it's
Hates to face Mark Langston.
yeah, and he loves to face Todd Stottlemyre. And then but the next card is
Mark Langston.
now. Does Mark Langston love facing Jose Canseco? No, he loves facing Henry Cotto and hates facing Dave Henderson. So all right, so you get the idea. Chris Sabo, Spuds, Kenny Lofton, or is that Willie Mays Hayes? I can't. It looks like the speedster, the leadoff hitter from Major League, Kenny Lofton. I think that all the time.
He also doesn't like Roger Clemens.
Yeah, he
doesn't
does like
facing
he
him.
does like facing your uncle Jeff Johnson though. He's 2 for 2. Okay, that's a different person. Yeah,
next one.
he hadn't played very much. Mike Sharperson, Vaughn Hayes, Steve Sachs, Mickey Tettleton, and we saw Randy over there. Keith Miller, and now he's just starting motoring through. Bill Wegman, John Smiley, left-hander, Gary Varsho, and you've got Brett Saberhagen, Andy Bennis, Jeff Brantley. Yeah, if you see anything funny, you flip it over.
He hates to face
Oh
Tony
my!
Glenn.
Somehow he knew how to get out Barry Bonds. He had no success.
I don't think it's very easy for people to get Barry Bonds out.
No, that's crazy. But he got smoked by Tony Gwynn. Okay. Mike Devereaux, Phil Plantier. What is he wearing? Jay Buhner. Oh my God!
That's not even a jersey.
I know that might actually be a high school photo. I mean, that's just Jay Buhner. Wow. Awesome. Juan Gonzalez, Pat Borders, David Justice, Mike Morgan, Doug Jones, Albert Bell. There's the sword of Jose Lean. I mean, Albert Bell was Chuck Finley did pretty good and didn't like Jaime Navarro. All right, so we got to give us some room. I love the sword of Jose Lean. All right, so Robbie Thompson, Rick Sutcliffe, Chad Curtis, Greg Hibbard.
Here's some more of these.
Steve Avery, another Braves pitcher. Travis Fryman. They were loaded at pitching back in the 90s. Wally Joyner. You got Jaime Navarro. Jamie Navarro. Kent Herbeck. Dwight Gooden. I'm curious on the doc. What did the doc? I mean, I know what he loves to face, but it's a drug. Jeff Robinson hates to face Greg Cadaret. What? Oh, hates to face Greg Cadaret was a pitcher. That's funny. That's got to be. Kent Herbeck. I picked the wrong guy. It's Kent Herbeck. Oh, we're looking at Gooden. Yeah, Gooden. Gooden loves to face Jose Oquendo, and he hates.
He did not like Barry Bonds.
No, he does not like Barry Bonds. Okay, I got confused. I flipped the wrong card over.
Here.
There's Herbie. Yeah, Herbie had a problem against a relief pitcher. Hal Morris.
Here. The Greg Maddux is back there.
Yeah, I believe it. Oh, he loves to face him.
He figured out how to get him out.
Yeah, Bob Tewksbury, crafty pitcher for the Cardinals. He did not have success against Andahar Cedeno, Eric Karros, Marquise Grissom, Lenny Dykstra. He was tough as nails. He was nails. Tom Pagnazzi. Then we got Matt Noakes, Mike Moore, Pete O'Brien. And we assume that he didn't use that sword to cut those bats. Randy Johnson sawed those bats off with his pitches. Devon White.
He did not like Nolan Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's completely understandable.
3 for 33.
Meanwhile, Tanana, who used to be Ryan's teammate with the Angels, he smoked Tanana. Tanana threw really hard, and then he hurt his arm and had to start being kind of a crafty pitcher later in his career. Ruben Sierra had some great years. Gary Sheffield, look at that hair. Not a Hall of Famer, but he's in that discussion when people get upset about discussing Hall of Famers. Mark Lemke, Darryl Strawberry, B.J. Surhoff, Randy Tomlin, Mickey Morandini, Tim Tuffle, Todd Worrell, Dave Death Valley, Terry Steinbach, Scott Sanderson, Howard Johnson, Hojo, Jose Offerman with the Shades, Pete Harnish, Jose Rio Flexen, Mark Grace, had the most hits in the 90s, Ron Gant. And then we have Dave Stewart, And what
Into the end here.
Andy Van Slyke and Derek Bell. All right, so now on to another
stack.
On to another big, and we'll move these guys off of here. That was good to see Randy and Jose Lean. Those are funny cards. Keep it moving. Julio Franco. Oh, the way he hold that bat up there. Danny Tartable. Pat Mahomes. You know who Pat Mahomes is. Do you know who Pat Mahomes Jr. is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do. Greg Vaughn. Kevin McReynolds. Terry Mulholland. Pitch forever. Spike Owen. Mike Scioscia.
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Butch Henry.
It's fun.
Bip Roberts. Chuck McElroy. Frank Tanana. There he is. Mark Lewis. Brian Harvey. Tony Jalapeno. Yeah, all the catchers are holding their catcher gear. Either their face mask or their glove. Glenn Davis. Thinking. Pondering. Kevin Bass. Todd Zeal. Tino Martinez.
Yeah, there's
Mariner and Yankees
hates
legend.
Roger Clemens. Hates to face him.
Very understandable. Constantino Martinez, Darren Lewis. What is he wearing? Is it like a baseball sweater? I mean, what is that? Wow.
I don't know.
Felix Jose.
Or if you look here, or hates to face Greg Maddux.
Yeah, there might be a reason Maddux is in the Hall of Fame. People struggled against him. Doug Drabeck. Also, Tony Gwynn smoked him. Yeah. Darren Dutch Dalton, Vince Coleman, Carney Lansford, and then Roberto Kelly would later become called Bobby Kelly for some reason. Greg Gagne, was he cold? These people wearing jackets.
There.
He had Bobby Witt. Yeah,
Hates to face him.
but did very well against Storm Davis. Scott Fletcher. Mark Gubiza is around as an Angels announcer, right? Rob Deere. Jack Armstrong, the All-American boy. George Taco Bell. Frank Sweet Music Viola. Tom Cotton Candiotti. He's actually a color analyst on the radio for the Diamondbacks. Heard him on the radio. Rob Dibble. He could throw hard for the Reds. Big Red. Oh, there's Paul O'Neill. Okay, let's see what Paul O'Neill's problem is. Let's see if this is familiar. Yeah, he hates to face Tom Glavine. All right, keep it rolling. And you got Ken Hill, Dickie Thon, Harold Reynolds. We see him on TV. Randy Reddy, Melito Perez, Scott Leas, and then John I Am Not a Crook, Todd Hundley, Ramon Martinez. Chris Berman's going to be giving us a call. Steve Dorsal Finley, trying to remember all the nicknames. Joe Girardi, Franklin Stubbs, Brent Maine. I think Joe Girardi was asking why he was never allowed to lead off for the Yankees. He was on the broadcast yesterday. Because
why could he not do it?
Well, Joe Girardi was a catcher, and they let Austin Wells lead off as a catcher, and Girardi was questioning,
why didn't I do that?
Why didn't they let me ever lead off? Well, there's a reason. Mike Henneman, he wasn't a good hitter. He was in the lineup for his defense. Alex Cole, Lance Johnson. We'll talk about Austin Wells more some other time. Gary DiSarcina, Greg Harris, Matt Williams, and we got Kurt Stillwell, Sid Bream.
He liked Dwight Gooden.
Yeah, he had a very famous slide to win a championship series against the Pirates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Sid Fernandez had problems. Denny Nagel, Kevin Mitchell with the Mariners. Kevin Moss had half a good season with the Yankees in 1990. Donovan Osborne, Mike Spanky LaValliere, Mariano Duncan, John Franco, Delino DeShields. What's Delino?
And look, he hates to face John Franco.
Yeah. They're back to back. Yeah, you're right. Struck out 5 times. Oh, having problems with the focus. Eric Davis.
Here. Another didn't like to face Greg Maddux.
I don't think anyone, and Maddux didn't even throw that hard. Just people could not hit him.
Yeah.
What else you got? Jeff Russell, Ken Caminetti, Brian Harper, Greg Jeffries was going to be a star, never happened. Cecil Fielder, Heavy C had some big homer years. Carlos Baerga, Alex Fernandez. He was all the rage as a rookie.
To face George Brett.
Makes sense to me.
Sounds like a problem.
Hubie Brooks, and then we have another stack. Is it Boba Fett's.
Daddy.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Bichette. No.
He's wearing a T-shirt. Brian McRae, also in a T-shirt. Tony Phillips, actually wearing a uniform. Glenn Allen Hill. Kirk McCaskill. Chuck Finley. Tim Naring. Brady Anderson. He had a couple big years. Dennis Martinez. El Presidente. I like that. Holding all the baseballs. Greg Olson. And then Bill Swift. And we're going downhill. Benito Santiago. Doug DeCenzo. He was one of those that would occasionally pitch. John Olerud. Juan Guzman. Dean Palmer. That's had some power for a short time. Mo Vaughn had some power for quite a while. Ben McDonald. Oh, he was going to be, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ricky. Yeah. Ben McDonald was going to be the man.
Had some problems against Ricky.
He wants to meet Madonna. I wonder if he ever did. Mike Jackson. Greg Harris. Brian Jordan. Steve Buechele. Yeah, she's looking on the back, see if there's anything cool on the back before flipping them up there. Wes Chamberlain. Yeah, no one likes to face Greg Maddux. Jimmy Jones. Well, that's because Jimmy Jones is a terrible middle reliever. Tim Burke. Yvonne Calderon. Brett Butler. Dave Henderson. Pat Kelly. Scott Erickson. Look at the hair. Ricky Bonus. Tom Gordon. Tom Flash Gordon. Milt Kyler, Sandy Alomar Jr., Lee Stevens, Norm Charlton, part of the Nasty Boys, along with Randy Myers and Rob Dibble, Terry Pendleton, Charlie Hayes, caught the final out of the 1996 World Series, and the Yankees won. Tony Fernandez, Rex Hudler, the Wonder Dog. He hated to face, it should say everybody, because he was terrible. Mitch Williams, 0 for 10, and somehow he owned Bruce Hurst. That's amazing. All right, the stack's getting big here. Jay Bell.
Here, he loved to face Jimmy Jones also.
Oh, Mike, 7 for 10. And John Smoltz. Yeah, that I can understand that. Kim Batiste, Bobby Bowe, Brett Barbary, Eddie Taubensee, Greg Swindell. We're getting to the end. Rick Aguilera, Lou Whitaker. Sweet Lou Whitaker. Hard-hitting Mark Whitten. Had 4 homers in a game. Robin Ventura, Batman, along with Frank Thomas. They teamed up for some production. Lance Parrish, Jody Reed, had a lot of doubles. Sam Horn, once struck out like 5 times. Royce Clayton, Greg Olson. Striking out 5 times now is not that, it's like whatever. Guys strike it all the time now. Kelly Gruber, Mike Gallego, Jeff Montgomery, Mitch Williams, the wild thing. Mitch Williams. Did Mitch have anybody? He didn't like to face Joe Carter. I know that. Ozzie Smith. And then Rex Hudler was 0 for 10 against Wild Thing. Paul Sorrento. Bobby Thigpen. Jeff Reardon. Chris Hoyles. John Burkett. Gerald Clark. Jose Guzman. Eric Hansen. Pedro Guerrero. Anthony Young. Tim Wallach, Darryl Kyle, Reggie Sanders, a few more. Gary Scott, and then we got Joe Carter, who enjoyed facing Mitch Williams when it mattered most, and then Shane Mack.
Loved facing Finley.
Oh, okay. And trouble with Greg Hibbert. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah, that was crazy. So 1992. Studio by Leaf. We'll come back and open our, maybe it's not 2024 Topps Heritage high number, but we'll do the best we can.